going to make some cookies. And then while they're baking, we will go into the dehydrated Roma tomatoes that I put on yesterday evening. They are done. So canning season is kind of over just about for me, except for the dehydrating. And all of a sudden, I'm like, since my mom mentioned doing the pumpkin rolls, my heart's going kind of festive like the other stuff. So I'm going to start out with some the really simple crinkle cookies. That's something that you can make, and it will freeze really well, and then you can just get them out, and you can keep making these in different flavors and all that stuff. So it's very interesting how many varieties you can make with this, and there's different ways to make. I call them my crack cookies, because if you make them certain ways, they're called crinkle cookies, and they're beautiful on a Christmas tray. You can make the greens and the reds and yellows and different colors with them. But tonight, I'm just going to make lemon, okay? Now this is a really cheap lemon. I think I paid $1 for it, for lemon cake mix. So these cookies are not only really easy and delicious and freeze well for the holidays, but they also taste delicious. And they're cheap. It's a cheap made. So all I'm going to do is put that whole pack of lemon cake mix in here. And then I'm going to add 1 egg. Let me see, I'm going to get this, kind of stir that around a little bit. Get the lumps down a little bit. You know, it's no big deal, they're going to stir out. Okay? So then I'm going to put the egg into that 1 box of lemon cake mix. This part could be chocolate, it could be banana nut, it could be any kind of cake mix, as cheap as a cake mix as you want. We made a lot of them one year. That's how I learned to make them. I went to a friend's and up north, and we all made cookies and stacked cakes, and this was in the mix. But you just take a cheap thing of whipped topping, take it out of your freezer, and these you could get really cheap around the holidays, so you can go ahead and put them in your freezer. I'm just going to kind of mix that egg up just a little bit in there. And I've got my oven on for 350. Mix that egg up just a little bit. You really don't have to, but it's just a habit with me to mix it up a little bit. And get my scissors out of the way. But I'm really, there goes some of it, really getting in that mood to get started on stuff I can freeze and keep. That's why I'm dehydrating a lot of my frozen vegetables and stuff like that. So then, now what I'm going to do, okay, you don't have to do this, and it's not called for, but I'm going to do it. I got a little bit of fresh lemon juice that I'm just going to pour in there, okay? And I had some of this orange zest, so I'm going to put just a little bit of that in there and make them real citrusy. Not much, but I keep my zest from my lemons and oranges. So we got that. I've got that in there, and I'll stir that around. And then this is, you just put the whole little 8-ounce topping. I think this cost me like 79 cents. So you got $1.79 and 1 egg. and powdered sugar. So you got 4 ingredients. Okay, so I'm gonna mix all that up in there. When I first made this with my friend and she told me how to do it years ago, I'm like, that's no way. No way. But it works. And they come out of the freezer tasting so good. And you can set these out and they'll be soft. But lemon is one of my favorite cookies to make with cake mix to make these cookies. You can do vanilla and make sugar. You can put little sprinkles in them. I mean, there's just all kinds of things to do with it. Something you could do with your grandkids or children, or so you want to just keep stirring this up until you get it stirred in really good. It's going to be kind of sticky. You know, some people might go out the first time like I did. I made them myself. Oh, I'm going to buy Cool Whip and I'm going to buy the best cake mix, but it all works. So you just want to mix that up, and I'm using just a spatula, like rubber spatula. Get all that Cool Whip into that. It's not, now don't be surprised because it's going to come out like thick, sort of like a brownie type mix. And by the way, if you get a dark chocolate cake mix and use this, it's just like, it tastes just like a brownie. Now, where we get the crack and the Kringle, Kringle crack, whatever you want to call it, crack and Kringle. Okay, I think that's mixed up pretty good. Kringle is like Christmas. You make it with a cake mix, and you don't use the Cool Whip. You use eggs and some other stuff, which I do have a recipe for that, and I will get to that. But now, what you want to do is get you out a bowl of powdered sugar, okay? You see how thick and sticky that is? That's the way you want it, okay? Let me get that off of there. Use every bit of this. And I guarantee you, probably by tomorrow evening, these ones will be gone. And any kind you make will be gone because they're all good, every one of them. Whatever flavor. I've done strawberry and the vanilla cake mix, chocolate cake mix, red velvet cookies. I mean, just, there's endless ways of doing things. So I'm going to try to get these about the same. I've got a tablespoon here, and I'm going to just pull that out and drop that right down in there. Pull this a little bit so you can see. And then you just take your fingers and make that into a ball. See? Just make it in a little ball. It's very easy. And you wrap that around your powdered sugar, or get your powdered, kind of just roll it in there. And then you're just going to simply take that and put it on a tray like that. That's it. You start putting them on a tray. So that's all you do. And I just drop them in there. Make a little ball. And I've got my timer here. And put them on there. And if you've got a cookie scoop thing that has the little on it, the handle, you could use that, but mine broke because I used it for Buckeyes so long. Now I've got to get me another one. So there we are. So see, you don't even have to do anything but just put them in that powdered sugar. Of course, if you want to, you could take your hands and go like that and get you some out and roll it. But it's really sticky, okay? You can roll it and just put it over there like that on your trays. But I just drop it in there and then make a ball. And you could put 2 or 3 in there to make you think you're getting done quicker. So just drop it in there. Roll it. Pretty cool whip, isn't it? And I'm sure a lot of you know how to do it anyway. But these are delicious. Absolutely. And that with that little extra lemon in there and that little extra orange peel, I think it's really going to be good. Doggy has to go out to potty. And he has to go out with her, or I do, because she'll run off if she sees another dog and try to beat it up. And she's little. She doesn't realize she's so little. But she likes them big dogs. She won't bother a cat a bit. She'll walk right by it. But if it's a big dog, she wants to go chase that thing down. So I'm going to do 4 more and just do a dozen. Nose itches every time I get on here. So I'm going to do 1. And this will make quite a few. Okay. Dodie, I am making some lemon crack cookies. Where I get the crack is these crack open and that powdered sugar goes down into them. And they are the softest, yummiest things you've ever eaten. But these are going to be lemon. Okay. You can use any kind of cake mix you want. So put that in the middle, and then I'll show you when I get them on the tray, and I'll put them in the oven. And they do spread out, so, I haven't made any since last year at Christmas, so I'm going to have to remember if I put 12 on or 9 or what I did. Put these back in there. They smell so citrusy. Smelling good. So I'm going to pop these in the oven before that soaks down into them. So I'll be right back. Get up out of here. So I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes. It says 10 to 12 all the time, but I'm going to do 10. And they're probably not going to look done, but they're going to be done. Okay. So I've got my rack over here, and I'm just going to set them. Now, I haven't before. I mean, I've done the rack, but there's times I haven't done the rack, that I've just set them on whatever, and I've made a big mess. I never seen a time that I haven't made a big mess when I just do the simplest things. I found out something about that was interesting about my dehydrating. Now, I ordered me some, look at this, I got it all over me. I ordered me some oxygen packets, and I showed them to you one time online. And every one of my jars like this, canning jars that I put an oxygen pack in, they were sealed. They had a big when I opened them. And so the air was not in them, you know. Tracy, I'm making the cake mix cracked cookies with the Cool Whip, and I got some in the oven. But I just took a box of cake mix and 1 egg and a 8-ounce tub of Cool Whip. Then I added a little bit of, just a little bit of lemon juice to give it that punch that I like. So it was so funny because I wasn't expecting it, but every one of them that I opened, that I put the little oxygen packet in, it's sealed on there. It has that little air give, like you got to push it pull it up real hard. So I thought, I think that's going to be good enough for me with my dehydrated stuff. Let me see here. So when I get the, and here's the tomatoes when they're done. They look funny, but they got a nice crunch, nice snap. Hear it? So what I'll do is I'll just start putting them in a jar, you know, while I'm waiting on that. And these will hydrate back up. And I'm going to go like this. Let me get this out of the way just for 2 minutes. And I'm going to go, hear that? And that's the way I'm going to put them in that jar. That way when I make chili or anything I want to do, they won't be the big slices like they was. They'll be pieces of tomato. Hear that? And at this point right here, you can make tomato powder out of them. But I don't have the coffee grinder I used to have. Hear that? They're just crunching up real nice. And it only takes a little bit of tomatoes to put in your stuff. Because when these Roma tomatoes that I got on a deal yesterday, I brought them, as soon as I seen them, I brought them home and cut them up and put them on the dehydrator. Because tomatoes is something I like to use a lot of, and I love to have them on my shelf. So hear that snap in them? And I did these overnight and then a couple hours today while I was sleeping. So probably 12. They could be done quicker. I sliced mine a little bit thicker so they would hydrate up thicker. And you don't have to blanch these. You don't have to blanch frozen vegetables, you just throw them on your dehydrator. Now these will stay good. I probably wouldn't have to put anything in these. See, hear that? That's got like a crunch to it. And I only had 3 trays, so maybe this is only going to fill a jar, if that. But a jar that I'll have, okay? It's a jar that already done. I don't care if I have to do a little bit or a lot. This was a bag of Roma tomatoes. All done. Hear that? Okay. Snap. It's got a really nice snap to it. So that's the tomatoes. I got 4 minutes on them cookies. So even if I decide, if I get a lot more and do these, even if I decide later to make the powder, I can do it. I just gotta find the something to do it in. Because last week and the week before we were working through stuff and we ended up, some stuff got gone. And it just so happens my coffee grinder got going. So here, that's awesome. So, dehydrated and ready for to be put on the shelf. So that's not quite a half a jar, and I've got a little more to go, but I don't want to overcook my cookies over these. And everything has worked out good. Everything I've done, I mean, has just worked out really good. Do what? Always talking to the puppy. And it's not hard to get these off of your dehydrator. It seems like they're stuck on there because they're so flat. Pam, I have not, or I mean Tracy, I have not done them yet. But I hear they are really good, but I just haven't done them. I'm not sure if I would really want to eat them, but I might dehydrate them myself, because knowing I did them myself, I might, instead of buying them. I done strawberries, and anytime that you do fruit, and I've done grapes, I done the cotton candy grapes, and they're sweeter. And by the time I got them done, they was really sweet. And I've done them. I got tomatoes, tomato powder, tomatoes here, cabbage, green peppers, red peppers, broccoli, and celery. The celery was fresh, so I boiled water, threw all my celery in it, brought it back up to boil, shut it off, and then put it on the dehydrator, because that helps it bring it back up to its natural state and its natural size. Some of the peppers I didn't blanch them, and they didn't come back up. They were good, but they didn't come up as big as what they went in. So when I put the thing to them, let me go check these cookies. As soon as that, oh, I got 46 seconds. You can dehydrate in your air fryer. Yeah, it takes a while. for fruit, but it's still worth it, you know. You must have a bigger air fryer. Do you have like one of them really nice air fryers that I thought about one time? And it's bigger and you could stick your tray in it front ways, because you could definitely dehydrate in that. And let me check the cookies. Let me see, I gotta get this out of the way. I'm gonna give that one more minute. Just one more minute. So I got one more tray. I only had 3 trays to do with the tomatoes, but I have 4 trays. So tonight, well, I'm not sure about if I'm going to do it tonight, okay? But I'm going to make some caramelized onions and dehydrate them. And they are absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. Hi, Rebecca, you back? Good for you. So I'm waiting one more minute on these cookies, and let me move this stuff. So what I'll do is put another oxygen absorber in that, which I really don't think it needs it. But it makes my jar seal for some reason. So that's a good thing. Okay, there we are. I'll be right back. Now, with cookies, I've made tons and tons of cookies in my day. Some cookies does not look done on the top. Now, an elderly lady taught me this, okay? When she taught me to make the sugar cookie dough. She taught me that your cookies probably won't look done on the top, but they're done. That's what makes a soft cookie. So let me check. The bottom. And see, I don't know if I can show you or not. The bottom. See how that's just barely brown on the bottom? That's what they're supposed to look like. And they don't look done on the top, but they are done. So I'm going to lay them on. They smell so good. So I'm going to lay these over on the rack. Now right now, this time of year, we're coming up on stuff going on sale. So you can stock up on your cake mixes and stock up on your cheap Cool Whip. And it only takes 1 egg. So you've got 2 dozen cookies or more for that cheap of a price. So I wished I could add up how much that would cost in cents. Because we paid $1, and you can get cake mixes for 89 cents. So I paid $1 for that one. I paid 89 cents. So that's $1.89. And then you can get this powdered sugar, which I have an abundant supply. Because when it was on sale, I bought it for $1 a bag. So you only use a little bit of it and 1 egg, and you've got a whole bunch of cookies. And I guarantee you, everybody loves these cookies. See, that's why I call them my cracked cookies. Because they're cracked up with that on top, with the powdered sugar, and they look so pretty. I could see, you could see them without all that light on them. So anyway, what I'll do is I will just go ahead and put some more on that and put it in the oven. And I'll tell you what, you can make one of the most beautiful trays. And I always like, when I make the chocolates, you can do peanut butter cookies with this. And I'll make chocolate, these, and peanut butter. And then I will put Buckeyes down the middle of a tray. So there's, you know, people love it. So I'm just going to keep putting them in there. Three at a time. Rebecca, you will love these, I'm telling you. And them little grandbabies will love them too. So the trick to it is just, you know, try to get your cookies in the oven as soon as you get these powdered sugars on. That way it won't soak into your cookie. And they'll be prettier. This one woman made them one time, and she wanted to make them real big, and they all ran in together. She ended up having to cut them into squares. So there's some more. We'll just put a dozen on this tray at a time. That way I won't have to cut them. And these are so easy. So far we got 1 dozen, and we're working on our second dozen. And it's not small cookies. I mean, they're good. They're a cookie size, what they should be. So you can see I'm just kind of moving them around with my fingers a little bit into the powdered sugar. It's kind of getting me in the season to do my baking and cooking and stuff. Stuff like this. It just start with that real easy stuff. Now, like I said, you can make these and put them in a bag after they cool real good, and put them in the freezer and pull them out whenever you want them. I know, Vicki. My husband was talking about it. We was about your place raining so much. We're supposed to have a steady one coming in tomorrow. Tonight, he said. She said it's been raining there. What town you in, Vicki? Tom wants to know. Wait, she answers me. See if I can press that now. Hi, Shirley. A wild day, and you know, we're praying you have a better one tomorrow. Not a wild one, but a better day. So I only have a little bit left. So what I'll be doing with that is making one great big cookie. So we got 2 dozen of cookies out of that box there. So we're talking quarters to make these, you know. And usually when we go to the store, we will stock up on like cake mixes and stuff just in case we want one or we want to make something out of one. And I do have lemon icing, but I'm not going to icing these because with the powdered sugar, they just taste good like that without all that other. She lives close to Oneida, Tennessee. About the Tennessee and Kentucky border, an hour north of Knoxville. He said, whew, this is way down there. I know, and she invited me down to dinner the other night, didn't you, Vicki? Or a cake. She said, something you said to come down and get. I've been to Tennessee more than several times. I'm waiting on the cookies. Well, we'll get one now. I forgot to time them. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go like... Alright, now, I'm going to get one of these and see how lightly browned that is on the bottom. That's all they need. They don't need browned any more than that. Okay, this is a nice, soft... When you make these, if you have it, squirt about a teaspoon of lemon juice in it. She lives 15 minutes off of 75 Tom in the first part of Tennessee. We are in the mountains. It is beautiful. She keeps talking. We're going to go down there, aren't we? It only takes about 7 hours from here. If you get lost, usually about 9 hours. Them are just perfect. I guarantee you, if you make these and you make the different kinds, I promise you people will like them. They're going to ask you how you did it, unless they done it themselves. My mom loves them. So Diane Long is in Clinton, Tennessee. How far away are you guys together, Vicki and Diane? How far would that be? I still didn't do it. could eat another one, but I'm not. 40 minutes apart. There you go, girls. That's not too far away to go get a cake, Diane, from Vicky. She bakes good cakes. Huh? Somebody out there? Oh. Okay. Now, these cool quickly. So what I'm going to do is show you how pretty they are. And if just imagine, they're light. They're so light. And just imagine them in different colors around your tray. See how pretty they are? It makes a beautiful, beautiful tray. This is a little tray. But I'm going to go ahead and put them on there. So that cheap, there's 1 dozen, well, 11. It would have been 1 dozen, but one's in my belly. So that cheap, you're going to have 2 of these trays or 1 big tray. And I do have some chocolate in there. Now what I will do is, since it's only chocolate, and like German chocolate or whatever, I'll just go ahead and throw a little bit of cocoa, just about a half a teaspoon of cocoa, get that real chocolatey in there, and it'll really be good. So then if you want to freeze these, see they're cool already. You just take and stack them and put them in a somewhere, or else you could put them in something you're not to constantly squishing them. But I just bagged them and put them where I wanted them to be. So that's what you can do. And look how cute. I mean, they're just really cute little cookies. See the cracks in them with the powdered sugar? And they look so refreshing, is the thing. Set that right there, and I'm going to dump this big glob in here. And when I get the other ones out, I'll put this big cookie on there. It's just so good. That lemon, that punch is really good. Okay. I did, Rebecca, I did put lemon juice in them, and I also I had some, wherever it's at, I don't know what I did with it. I had a little bit of orange zest in the freezer in a little bag, so I threw that in there too. So you can add that stuff. Put you some lemon zest in them, and lemon juice if you got a real lemon. Squirt a little bit of that in there. It gives them a real good punch. Now the lemon cake itself is just good, but I like a little more lemony, refreshing taste to them. And then you can take the vanilla ones, Vicki, and put you some sprinkles in them little colored sprinkles, and cook them like that, and they'll come out with all them little, like a funfetti cookie or something. Or you could use a funfetti cake. I never thought of that, but you can put anything in them, to give them a little spruce here and there. Okay, let me get them out, and then I'll put the other one on, the big cookie. Okay. I'll let these sit for just about a minute. So you got another dozen there. And one here. And one big cookie in there. And then we're doing our tomatoes. I got one more tray to put in there, and then my tomatoes will be done. And I would think, I'm not sure how many Roma tomatoes I had. I had a bag of them because I got them on sale and I just grabbed them. I left about 3 or 4 for someone else in the store. They probably got more to put out. I didn't feel guilty about it. I just took what I could and went. They had a lot of tomatoes though, but the Roma was what I wanted. Are you going to make them? That's good, Vicki. They're just good. So, see, that's just barely brown on the bottom. They don't look done on the top, but they are. That's just an old trick that a lady showed me one time. You don't want to get scared and overcook them, because then you're going to have a dark looking lemon cookie. Okay, now I'm going to put that big one on here and put it in there, and we'll see what we get. And in the meantime, I'll put that one in for 12 minutes. In the meantime, we'll let these sit, and then we'll let them. I'll get the last of the tomatoes that my husband made so much fun of this morning. One of the ladies said, I think it was Buffy, she said, "You cracked her up, Tom. She ain't laughed that hard in a long time." Anyway, I found my zest. It's right there. This is orange zest. And I'll put it back in the freezer. But I had that in the freezer from when I had an orange. I always save the zest. I'll wipe my hands off real good. I know cookies in with them tomatoes. Okie dokie. Now, here's the last tray of the tomatoes, the Roma tomatoes. And like I said, I'll do more, and then I'll do more cabbage. I got another head of cabbage. I love cabbage. Hear that snap? That's the way you want them. I'm trying to break them up so they'll come out little tomato chunks. And I was sitting there sucking on some this morning as I was checking them because they were so good. Now, I didn't smell a real strong tomato smell though when they were cooking. And this is the point you want to put them in your NutriBullet, or if you want to make powder. But you're not going to get a lot of powder out of these. Right now I've got tomato powder. I just would like to have some chunks to throw in everything. These are so crisp that they'll stab you. Hear that? Getting it everywhere. Oh, yeah. I think yeah, I did. I heard about that because I remember praying for that family in Zelaski. I forgot to turn my... I always leave my oven light on so I can look over every once in a while and see where it's at. But I do this a lot. I forget to turn my... And the one thing I gotta take my time with the pumpkin rolls is to make sure I get that timer on. It's very important that you time them right. Look at that one. It looks so funny. That made a whole pint, that bag of tomatoes. I'm very happy with that. And Roma, the reason why I got Roma, they had all kinds, but the Roma and another kind was on sale. But the reason I bought Roma was because Romas have more meat. They have less seeds and more meat, and that's what you want for your flavoring in your stuff. Any would do, but I choose the Roma for the meaty part of it. So there we are. You hate to miss any of it too, because every one of them is going to get a little bigger when you put them in some. And it's funny because what seeds was in them stuck down in the hole, so I don't even have the seeds that I lost or forgot. That's awesome. Yep, all the seeds are kind of just there. When they shrunk, the seeds stayed. That's another plus. So we got this now, this whole pint of tomatoes, and I'll put I've got some oxygen absorbers, but I don't think you'll need them. But I'm going to put one, well, see there? I'm going to go ahead and put one up. I keep popping that little bubble thing. You know how that goes. So there you are. What I dehydrated, started yesterday evening is done tonight. A whole pint jar of dehydrated Roma tomatoes. So this will do a lot of soup. I can throw it in a lot of things and make me some tomato flavor in it. Plus I got the tomato powder. So anyway, there's all the cookies. You know, these are still on drying. And I won't keep you on any longer. I'm just going to set these all out since I showed you how pretty the tray was. Set them all out for a while and see how many of them gets eaten. There's something you just want to grab and eat, you know. Oh my, there's a tomato. Don't waste them. That's one whole little chunk there. Yeah, they do have a lot of flavor, Rebecca, and they have more meat, as you notice. So I like that about them. I didn't teach in school. But you know what? I love to teach, and I am a teacher. I've been a teacher for 32 years. Nope, 31 years. So I learn. That's how I teach, is I learn from other people. I'm a sponge. Whenever I know that something is important, I will listen with my ears, and I keep this shut, and I learn from people. And if I want to really know it and get it into my heart, I'll watch it 3 or 4 times, or I'll listen to it 3 or 4 times. No, I can't do everything. There's things I can't do. So, but I will learn if I need to. So, Rebecca, you can do this. You can do this. If I can do it, you definitely can do it. This plate is empty, but it's over there. But if I would have left them on there, it would have been empty shortly. So I'm proud of these. I'm glad they're done. Next, I'm going to do some caramelized onions. The caramelized onions are so delicious and good. And you can use them for so many things, different things. So anyway, God bless you all. And this is the way we do it. To you. That's the way me and Tom do it. You. Only he acts like it hits him. He goes like that. So anyway, God bless you. And yes, that's right. I believe wholeheartedly. And that's the kind of teacher I am. I teach the Word of God. Okay? I can't tell you a bunch of math, but I can teach you the Word of God. So that's my math equation. So anyway, Laura, hi Laura, I'm so glad that your husband got a good report. That's answered prayer to me. It's just a blessing. There was another lady that wrote me today, and she got a blessing. She said she couldn't stop crying. She had such a blessing, you know. And so, you know, bless the Lord. Glory to God. It's Him. It's all Him. We're just vessels. We can either be used by Him or be used by someone else. So God bless you all. You'll have to go back through this to see how to do these cookies. And you've seen the tomatoes. I am so happy. I'm going to get more. God bless you.